Good evening, folks. Welcome to Semi-Casual Gaming, brought to you by Nathan as a host. For the first time in forever, I actually have an opponent, a live opponent. His name's Trey. Say hello to the channel, Trey. Do you want me to actually show you? I didn't actually. Hi. So, we are playing a 2,000-point game of Warhammer 40,000. We are already set up to play. This is actually my tournament list that I'm preparing for. My last video, I mentioned we were doing a tournament. Well, that got postponed, so I'm going to do some practice games. I have Orks, as you see, in their full glory. I'm not going to go over through all the details because I don't have a lot of phone battery, so I'm just going to do some wide shots. And then my opponent here has the full Eldar triumvirate of various mix of Eldar, Drukhari, Harlequins, the gamut, including, yep, the big beautiful characters. Oh boy. So we're going to have full list of comments in the comments below. The mission type we're playing is No Man's Land, where you deploy. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 objectives, and the goal is to 5 points if you control 1, 5 points if you control 2 or more, 5 points if you control more than your opponent. You also get secondary objectives. For this game, I'm not going to go into how each of them work, but I'm going to pick the mission-specific secondary objective, which is the one controlling the center objective, and you get points per turn. I'm also going to pick Assassinate, which is get 3 points for each enemy character, which he has 5, so it's up to 15 for me. And then I'm also going to pick Thin Their Ranks, which is for every 10 you get a point. He is about 70 points here, and he has the ability to bring some back, which could possibly net me more points. So, what secondaries are you taking, Trey?
I'm thinking to take it down one, or the vehicle one. Okay,
so the let's see. Bring it down for 2 points for vehicles, or 3 points if they're a bigger vehicle. I think only one of my vehicles gives you 3 points. The rest would be 2 points. But otherwise, so there's that. Oh, actually, yeah, those two guys are also 2 points each. So there's a good number of points.
Then the rings, I think, for all the Orks.
Yeah, as I have about 70 points to give, or 7 points to give you as well. And then
I'm still trying to think of the third one.
All right, so the bonus one for the mission is you get points on the center objective based on the turn. So 1 point first, second, third, fourth. You're going to go with that one? Okay, easy enough. So we're both taking Thinner Ranks. We're both taking the center objective. I'm trying to kill his characters, and he's trying to kill my vehicles. We'll see how it turns out. We haven't rolled off for a turn. I did finish deploying first. I lost a roll for deploying first. So does that mean I automatically pick who goes first, or do we roll off still?
We roll off.
We roll off? Okay, perfect. As you guys can tell from my lack of knowledge. All right, I'm going to go ahead and roll a 6. A 4. Okay, I'll go first. So we're going to do middle turn. We'll do a recap shortly after this. So, Orks, turn 1. Okay, guys, bottom of Ork 1. So what we did here, we shuffled everything around. The unit of boys ran forward or controlling the central objective. So I will be getting 1 point for the secondary on that one because it starts triggering the first turn. Everything else, hover forward. So I'm controlling objectives, but I won't start scoring points until the start of 2. Then I open fire. As you see, the 2 vehicles in the middle are not on the table. We just found out literally right now, though, that his Wave Serpent, the white one, should have had reduced damage on it, so it actually should still be on the table, but we're just kind of leaving it. There have been no way of tracking how much damage it would have at this point, so we decided to just take it there. So I appreciate that. Otherwise, I got very lucky. I barely took them both off the table. Otherwise, I picked off 1 infantry off of each of those other units. There's not much real damage, but other than just keeping them on the backboard. So I'm hoping we'll see how much carnage the guys do back. So we're going to go ahead and do it. Ynnari, bottom of 1. All right, bottom of 1. So what happened? The elves, or I call them elves, the Eldar fired back. They popped off a couple of boys, took out both of my Def Copters. One was shooting, the other through clown charge melee. They went into the Gretchin, who also got shot almost completely off the table. 1 Gretchin remains due to the current morale rules. Solitaire charged the truck, did a wound, and took nothing in return, although they did do a good chunk of damage back. Attempt to do damage. I mean, it could have possibly killed it if the Solitaire didn't save. So at this point, I still control the middle objective, so he doesn't get points for that. He did get 2 points each for the 2 Def Copters for the bring it down, so he did get 4 command points, or objective points, not command points. Otherwise, pretty quick start. I think the game's about to open up into the top of 2 Orks. Okay, bottom of 2 or middle of 2. A lot more happened. Orks return fire. We killed the Solitaire one time. He did use one of his command abilities to bring him back. So he's actually going to be about an inch. And this was the closest spot, which strategically made sense because he wants to get closer to go after my backfield. I dropped my Def Dreads back here. One charged in, killed a couple. The important thing, though, is they chased him off the objective, so I'm controlling that objective, so he won't get points on his turn. This guy, however, this is his first game on the field, and he got so excited he didn't know where to go, so he failed his charge. I basically clipped off that wall. He's too excited to go after the vehicles that are already off the table. He's still learning the game. It's okay. The big package dumped off its toys, and they went in and went to town on them. They are at least still in combat with the Witch, but the Warboss fell out of combat, so, I mean, he could be targeted, but I did make him the biggest boss, so he does have a 4-up invuln, so we'll see how long he lasts. The Deffrolla over the Harlequins over here, and there was one Gretchin left. He is now hiding up here with, he's right there, hiding with the Lootas, because he could still take one more Grot Shield to save one more guy, and he just doesn't really want to die yet, so... with that being said, I do control the center objective now into turn 2, so I've got 2 points for that. We're going to do a final tally, but I've killed 36 guys so far, and 1 count for the character, so that's 3 points. And with how the rules go, with every time he revives them, I can get 3 points for each assassinate. So hopefully I'll be able to rack up some points because the rest of his characters are hiding back there. So we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, we're now going to head into bottom of 2, Ynnari's Retaliation. All right, bottom of 2. Ivrain's the Ynnari attack back. So his troops, all of his guys over here, the characters charged in. However, with a lucky counterattack, my MegaNobz killed off Ivrain's bodyguard. There's still a couple of witches hanging out back there. The Incubi whiffed on their charge against the Warboss. The Warboss actually overwatched and killed the last of the Dire Avengers. And then the Warboss fought back and wiped the whole unit one shot. Over here, everybody charged in. They shot and charged, knocked the boys down to this far. I actually dropped my boys off that objective, but his Harlequin stayed back so he can control the objective. So he gets 2 command points for that. And then, however, they weren't able to pile in to kill off the rest of the unit. I used Insane Bravery to keep them around. In the meantime, he brought the big person here. What's this big guy's name here? Incarnate. The Incarnate. Go ahead and swap it. Brought him in, but I zoned him out of everywhere else. So he dropped back here, did some damage to my truck. He had a character come over here, charge my Def Dread, who counterattacked and ripped it apart completely. So at this point, we're heading to the top of 3. We're going to take a quick 2-second break off camera, and then we'll get right back into middle of turn 3. Okay, bottom of 3. Long story short, I green tied these guys back, and they were all out of close combat. So the shooting of everything just went through and wiped out every guy over here. There is the one MegaNobz just barely killed off the one remaining witch. The other MegaNobz killed off Yvrain. The Warboss actually tried to kill her and failed. He failed by 1 wound. And then when she died to the MegaNobz Incarnate, who got charged by the BattleWagon and got knocked down to 2 wounds left, she ported out of there to get the glory kill. Took out the Warboss barely. I could have command point rerolled to deny that, but I'm just not that kind of guy. So otherwise, at this point, I have every objective. Technically, those MegaNobz moved away, so I don't have that objective, but it was the end of the game. So, Trey, good game. So, what did you think about it afterwards? Just a little post dialogue.
I don't like the green tide.
You don't like the green tide?
I almost killed him.
Yeah, he almost wiped them, and I saved up my command points to keep them back around, which I think, I mean, really at that point of the game, it wasn't a huge change up, but it's still, we were talking off camera, but I really think the first turn advantage is just too huge in this game, with the ability for me to swarm up the table and kind of cover all the objectives before he could counter, and being able to shoot out both of his vehicles, because we talked about if he went first, then all of his guys would be up on my end of the table, and then I'd be struggling to get out of my corner. So it's just kind of how it goes. But Trey, it's been an excellent game. I mean, there is a victory point count, but I'm not even gonna. if you're tracking it, yeah, I won by a considerable number. So, hey guys, thank you so much for watching this. Please like, subscribe, comment. I am hopefully going to be recording a whole bunch more reports over this weekend and a half that I have, and then I'll be slowly uploading them to add stuff. And thank you guys. Say goodnight, Trey.
Night.
All right, bye.